Welcome back to LarryB YouTube channel. In today's class we're going to learn how to make this beautiful corporate dress with a cut together lapel. You can see the lapel is cut together and it just goes towards the side like that. It's a very simple tutorial. The neckline is also asymmetric and is beginner friendly. This is something you like to learn. Kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so for this tutorial the lapel is going to be cut together with the main body. So before we start drafting the main body, I'm going to leave allowance for my lapel depending on how you want it to, how big you want the lapel to be. It can be from 6, 7, 8, 5 inches thereabout. So I think I'm just going to go with maybe 6.5, and I'll mark that across so that I can get a straight line. So this is going to be my new starting point. This allowance that we have here is going to be for the lapel. So on the new starting point now, I'm going to mark my shoulder measurement. Here I'm going to mark my neck measurements. I'm just leaving it tentatively at 3 inches, and here I'll come down by 1 inch from my shoulder slope and connect that to my neck point. So after that, I'm going to mark my armhole measurement, and then I'll mark my waistline. So I'm going to mark that again and make that into a straight line as well. So on this armhole point, I'm going to take my bust measurement divided by 4. Add some allowance to that. Here I'm going to take my waist measurements divided by 4 as well. You're adding that to add your that allowance, and then you add your same allowance to that as well. So here I'm going to connect together. So for my armhole, remember I marked 7 inches here. I'm going to mark the same 7 inches. You get a straight line there, and you get the midpoint of that, and on the midpoint coming by 1/2 inch, and then you connect everything together to form your armhole. So just like you draft your normal regular basic bodies. Okay, so that is our bodies there. So now the next thing is to create the lapel. So for the lapel, you determine the width of the neckline that you want to work with. We have 3 inches here. We can maintain that or increase it by 1/2 inch or 1 inch to make it 4 inches. I think 3.5 is fine, which is going to be here. So here on the starting point here as well, I'm going to mark the same 3.5 inches. Make sure that this your pattern is on fold. Okay, this pattern has to be on fold. Okay, so excuse me, so this is what we have now. If I cut it out now, you can see that we have both sides like this. So I'm going to try to transfer what I have to the other side as well, so that I can have everything together when I open it up. So I'm going to be doing that with my tracing wheel. So I'll just trace out everything that I have here and then mark it on the other side. I've transferred it, and this is what you have. Another way you can make sure that you have the same thing is just by simply cutting it out. So if you cut it out, you of course have exactly the same thing on the 2 sides. So after cutting it out now, the next thing is to modify our pattern for the lapel that we are trying to create. So my neck stops here, and then you go up to the allowance. So this is what we have. So now when you open it up, it looks like this. So the first thing you're going to do is to connect from one end. You choose the side that you want the lapel to follow, and then you connect diagonally like this from that end to the other one, just like this. So once you connect, you're going to cut off the excess that you have. You don't need this other side again. So the lapel. Okay, so after cutting it like that, you can cut this out on your fabric and then you open it up later, but I want to see how the lapel is going to fall. That's why I'm trying to cut it on this side. So what I'm going to do on this long part, okay, not the small part that blends with the shoulder, I'm going to mark the depth that I'm working with from my shoulder. So from 6 to 7 inches is fine. I can leave it at 6.5, and then I'm going to connect that straight to my neck point like this. So after connecting it straight, like I said, you can do this on your fabric. I'm going to open it up to that 6.5 mark, and then I'm going to try to relax the lapel to see how it's going to fall. So I'm trying to do this so that I can see how my lapel is going to fall, and if I like it that way, I'll work with it, and if not, I can adjust it. So you can see how it's going to be relaxing on the body. So it's going to be extended to the sleeve area a little bit based on what we have here. So if this is not what you're aiming to get at this point, you can change this. Okay, that's why I decided to do that, just to see what it's going to give me. So now if you redraw it now and then you reshape your lapel, it's going to give you something like this. Okay, so you just need to play around it a little bit to see what you want. So now this pattern is done. The next thing is to go ahead and cut it on my fabric. For the back is just a regular bodice. I'm going to cut the back and then put zipper allowance. I'll cut that on my fabric as well. Okay, so I'm going to cut it. You can see this is the front and this is the back with the same allowance. So you make sure that the neck width that you're working with for the front and back is the same. Remember, we're working with 3.5 inches. So now to sew it, remember there's supposed to be an opening here. For the front, I have a facing. You can see. You can also cut a full lining if you have enough fabric for that. But this is my facing under it like this. So I want to cut out this opening here. So I'll make sure that I set it well and everything is well arranged before I cut. So once I'm sure of that, I'll grab my scissors and then cut downwards. When you cut it, this is what you have. So I'll start removing the pin, and then I'm going to pin the facing with the main body so that I can remove my pattern. So after doing this now, the next thing is to take it to your sewing machine and then you sew. I'm just trying to pin it and then remove the pattern. So when you take it to your sewing machine, you're going to sew on the lapel area. Okay, this is how you sew. You sew from here. Remember, this is our shoulder. So you start sewing from the lapel area here. You sew downwards up to where you slashed. Okay, so when you sew here, then you sew upwards again and then stop on the shoulder. You can see where we have sewn now. Okay, I started sewing from here and then up to here. So at this corner here, I'm going to notch it to the barest minimum so that I can relax very well. So you notch the areas as well. You notch everywhere before you turn it out. So this tip, I'm going to reduce the seam allowance there so that it's not going to be too bulky. And then I'll turn everything out and iron it. So you can add interfacing to this, especially the lapel area, so that it can stand well. You can add interfacing to that. So I'm going to try to bring out the tip as much as I can, and then I will iron this. So this is what we have now. This is my shoulder, this is the other shoulder, and this is this part. So I'll go ahead and iron it, and then the lapel is just going to fall like this. Okay, so after ironing it, this is what it looks like. You can see that it's laying flat now. So when you flip it, this is what the lapel is going to look like. So the next thing now is to bring in the back bodies. And you're going to turn the neckline of the back bodies with your facing as well. So after turning the neckline, I'm going to go ahead and join the shoulder to both sides. Then I'm going to join it by the side as well. So I'll do this now and take it to the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like after joining the shoulder and the side. You just need to fix your sleeve and the lower part so you can see what the collar looks like. It is a cut together collar and it's really beautiful, and you can modify it anyhow you want. I hope you enjoy making this beautiful tutorial with you. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one.